Drew Coover. I'm Drew, and for many years I took opiates, and for many years I hung out with some crazy people. I was a foster parent. I did some things I'm ashamed of in my life, but ultimately I'm a fucking good guy, and I had a problem with opiates, and I had a serious problem, but that wasn't as a result of anything wrong. It was a result of overprescribing, and it was a result of having pain and back surgeries, and I got a whole bunch of information, and I'm trying to get into the touch with. So if you've got a missing limb from a car accident, or you're in a wheelchair, or you're dying of cancer, or you're on medication, you have been for a long time, you got fibromyalgia, and you just need the patch, or you need something for pain, and it's all done today. They've cut it. The government said, nope, no more. If you need an opiate, you have to go to the pharmacy to get it. Now, no one knows this, but I've got a lot of information about what the government's been doing. And if you read here, the Elevate program, okay, participation involves. So this basically, if you are taking drugs, street drugs, and you want to get off street drugs and on pharmacy drugs, you can do this. And you can get $1,680 for a 3-month period. And you're developing and participating in a treatment plan for opioid use disorder. You attend weekly meetings. You have to be 19 years old. You have to use opiates. You have not accessed substance use treatment in the past 4 weeks. You have to be on income assistance. You have to have a goal of reducing or stabilizing your opiate use. And there's a $60 honorarium. Look at this. There's a $60 honorarium. Now, this is, my friends, this is like, here it is here. Like, I can show you this. This is the Elevate trial. Dr. Nadia Fairburn. Version date September 24th, 2000. Check this out. This is what the government announced today. Anyways, I'm going to talk about this because this is like hits home hard. And I got off the phone tonight with I don't know, 4 or 5 people that I know. That have been taking prescription pharmaceutical medication for many years. 2 guys are in chairs. One guy doesn't have a leg. He lost it in a motorcycle accident. I talked to a client. Her father's got cancer. They get medication. And the government yesterday, back into caucus yesterday in the legislative building, basically were called out. The NDP government was completely called out. And the NDP government completely did nothing except for yell about it's the pharmacy's fault. It's the pharmacy's fault. Now, today, they have basically said, we're going to stop all pharmacies from giving out prescription opiates to people. So that means if someone like me that took opiates for like 19 years, and I hope sometime I'll be able to get some pain medication again because I am in severe pain like 24/7, 365. I've got severe problems. And it would sure be nice to have a little bit of pain relief once in a while because this guy don't drink soda pop because drinking just don't work. You have a problem. You have opiate use disorder. Yeah, sure. So basically what happened is I said, okay, I'll take Suboxone. So I took Suboxone for a year. But when I took Suboxone, I said, so how long do I take this? They're like, oh, at least a year. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't take it for a year. They're like, oh, yeah, you take it for a year. So anyways, a client of mine down in Memphis, Tennessee told me you should go on to UBC CPU and take the opiate, the OP therapy program. So it's a free program. So I went and took it, and then I found out Suboxone is just garbage. Suboxone is 50% buprenorphine, 50% naloxone. So it's basically heroin. And then the heroin goes in your body. So your brain says, okay, you've got heroin. But the naloxone takes away the high. So the high's there. Just so everybody knows, painkillers get you high so that you don't focus on the pain. So for the people that need the pain medication, then they took it away. So it did stabilize. It did help me figure shit out. It did help me calm down. And I do believe in it for that purpose, but not for taking it for another year or 2 or 3 or 4. And the next year I was totally addicted to this shit. I was messed because of her. Oh, I'm upset, people. Like this is upsetting. So then I took this stuff. So I had to go in and take a different medication they put underneath my gut. I got it all on fucking video. I recorded them fuck, the doctors, they call Suboxone the crazy monkey because it's the drug that like you take that's supposed to get you high, but it doesn't get you high, so it's the crazy monkey. The doctors were joking about it with me. My 19-year-old son went to the hospital with me, and we recorded the doctors laughing about it. The NDP was like, it's the pharmacy's fault. It's the pharmacy's fault. It's the pharmacy's fault. So now, in order to get your medication, you got to go to the pharmacy. So anyone that has a missing leg or arm cancer or like fibromyalgia, they got to go to the pharmacy to get their medication 3 times a day. Let's listen to what the NDP has. They just blow me away. It's just politicians, the government.
Major about face from the NDP government on drug policy. BC's health minister says people who rely on prescription opioids like hydromorphone can no longer take those drugs home. It follows evidence revealed in leaked Ministry of Health slides that many of those safe supply pills were being diverted and trafficked nationally and internationally by organized criminals.
We've heard concerns about these medications being diverted and ending up in the wrong hands.
Yep,
to ensure that prescribed alternatives are used safely and effectively, these medications will be taken under the supervision of a healthcare worker.
Josie Osborne also announced an investigation into 60 so-called bad actor pharmacies. They're alleged to have offered incentives to get safe supply clients, then billing the pharmacare system for those prescriptions. Critics argue the changes are long overdue by a government they say refused to acknowledge that diversion was even happening.
The real bad actors are those that ignored years of evidence that this was causing harm, downplaying it, denying it to the detriment of our province, fueling addiction, fueling the fentanyl trade, and putting money into the hands of criminals.
The issue dominated question period, putting Premier David Eby on the defense.
Both days, yesterday and today, totally dominated everything. But here's the kicker. Is this what's going to happen? Like yesterday and today, they just went after them, and now they're going to blame this problem on the pharmacies, and it's all going to go away in the government? Or are they still, I don't know.
Will he finally admit that the NDP's safe supply program has failed and it has only fueled BC's drug crisis?
No, they're not doing that. They're just blaming the pharmacies.
We know it saved lives.
As I said, David Eby, I will give you 20% of my take home after my bills are paid for the rest of my working career life. Okay? And I make good money. If you can tell me one person, if you can show me one person that it saved their life. Because, see, I've been going on the streets for years, and I've been talking, bro. I just, bro, this guy give me a break, David.
You know, stabilized lives. The Conservatives know that too.
It's Suboxone stabilized me after I was overprescribed by like triple the amount because they thought that would help.
Not good enough, says the BC Conservatives mental health and addictions critic who opened up about her own struggle.
14 years ago, I was a homeless addict living on the downtown east side.
She's a tattoo artist now. She's a tattoo artist, and she's an MLA.
I can tell you that the people that are going to die today and tomorrow deserve better than that answer.
Yep.
Josie Osborne denies the government dragged its feet in responding to the problem of diversion.
And it's important to act on that evidence when we get it. And I am not going to be making knee-jerk reactions.
Provincial Health Officer Dr.
Hands behind your back. You kept me away from my mother. My mother stayed away from me. My 80-something-year-old mother stayed away from me because she was terrified of COVID.
Bonnie Henry, who introduced the Safe Supply program in 2020 during the
She looks like she needs some Ozempic.
to separate people from toxic street drugs was not informed of the policy change.
They changed it, but they didn't tell her. I don't understand. Like a couple of years ago, she gets to make the choices, and now I don't understand.
It's another sign the BC government is moving away from some of her drug policies. Katie DeRosa, CBC.
So listen, my friends, it's not going to work. I'm sorry, it's not going to work. So this is what's going to happen. So they're not going to give out pain medication out anymore. There's going to be a huge backlash from people that actually need it. But these pills that people are getting on the street, like the pharmacies down on Hastings, between like Hastings and Cambie and Hastings and Maine, there's like 10 pharmacies, and they're all giving out the little packets. So why don't you just like go after them and stay away from the people that need it? My name's Drew Coover, and I'm here for the people, not for the government, especially not you, David or Bonnie, or anyone that did this like slacker family disease.